Hey friends, what's up? The time has come. Today is the day. I actually just got back from the orthodontist and I was so excited that I had to make this video. I am done with Invisalign. It's been 2 years, and in this video I'm going to tell you about why I had to get Invisalign for my folks that haven't seen videos before. But yeah, why I had to get it. Just in general, my dental journey over the last couple years, because it actually isn't just Invisalign. Invisalign's like maybe the half of it. And then just overall, like what my treatment was like. So if you want to see what my teeth looked like before I got Invisalign, I'll link a video down below. But essentially I had a lot of crowding in the front of my mouth. My front teeth were like my top teeth were mostly straight. This tooth was a little bit higher up than it needed to be. And then my back teeth were like a lot going on. So all of this started around July 2020, actually. I was having a lot of pain from my wisdom teeth. And I had actually assumed that my wisdom teeth were the reason for the crowding. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. It was that I didn't wear my retainer. I paid for this time, my parents did not. So I'm not playing around with this retainer. But essentially in 2020, I had to get my wisdom teeth, my bottom wisdom teeth taken out. That alleviated a lot of pain. And I felt like I didn't want to go about correcting my teeth or aligning them or anything and still have the wisdom teeth in there. So that was a process to get them taken out. And then around spring 2021 is when I started to look into getting my teeth straightened. First consultation that I had was kind of shitty. I didn't like the place that I went to, so I went through my insurance provider and looked up who had the highest rating for Invisalign, or just in general teeth correction. The first place that I went to said that I wouldn't be a good candidate for Invisalign and they wanted me to get braces. And I was like, I've seen people with much crazier teeth, excuse me, but I've seen people with much more crooked teeth or complicated cases, from my untrained opinion, who were able to get Invisalign. So that doesn't even sound right. So I looked up who's top rated through my insurance and ended up going with the people that I did because they are platinum rated. Like, they're certified by Invisalign itself, like the entity that makes the trays and offers the services. They're highly rated by them. So I was like, awesome, and it's under my insurance. Overall, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Overall, I'm not sure exactly how much the Invisalign cost, because the job that I had at the time offered an HSA and they would put a lump sum in. So I ended up using quite a bit of that, insurance covered. I wanna say the initial treatment was, I think the treatment overall was something like $5,000, and I think the out of pocket was like $3,400 or something like that. So in July 2020, I went to see them for the first time. Again, that's in that video. And then in August is when I got fitted with Invisalign. I was projected to be done by February 2023, which would have been 18 months, but we'll get to that. I have to, for my folks that are like, you're getting Invisalign today and you're watching videos and want to know what to expect, this is not all the way comprehensive, because as far as like refinements, getting new scans, stuff like that, I didn't keep track of that. I'm sorry. I had asked my provider about refinements actually, and they said that just as an office, their ethos is not to like say refinements, because you're not done when you have to get rescanned, right? It's not like, oh, we're perfecting, we're refining anything. You just need to get more trays. So I kind of fell out of like paying attention to scans and things like that after they explained it. But started in August 2021. I want to say that at some point in 2022, maybe like the beginning of 2022, I had finished that first set of trays and then got refinements or got another scan. So that put me at 1. And then things were kind of progressing as normal up until the fall of 2022 because I was starting to have a lot of pain. So that's why I say, like, when it comes to like this dental process, Invisalign's only the half of it, because I gotten my wisdom teeth taken out. And then over the course of having Invisalign, I was also getting my fillings replaced, because when I was like a teenager in college, I went to a horrible dentist. And so I've gotten fillings done that had to be redone. And then at this point, the dentist that I'm seeing now was like, we're just gonna do everything over again, right? We're gonna take out all the black fillings and just replace them with white. So I don't have any black fillings in my mouth anymore. And I wanna say all of my molars have fillings. Yo, I lost the genetic lottery when it comes to teeth. Like, and it doesn't, like, again, having straight teeth is not the most important thing, but just the health of my teeth has never been good. And thank God I've had access to dental care my entire life. A shift happened in my 20s when I had to start paying for it and was broke, but we're here now. So I'd been getting my fillings replaced over the course of 2022, but come fall, I had 2 big, deep fillings that needed to get replaced, and my dentist was up front and said, listen, if these fail, essentially, like they're so low down that there's a chance, the filling, like if this is the tooth and this is the root, the fillings were starting to come so low that they were touching the nerve of my teeth. Nerve, not the root. So I had gotten one side done and was like, something's not right. I had to get a root canal. I have a big old cap, a crown. And then within maybe a month or 2, I had to get the other side done. So like I mentioned, I was projected to be done February 2023. Because I had gotten the crowns put in, my aligners weren't fitting anymore. And so I went a couple weeks just not wearing my trays at all, which I wasn't happy about. And the crazy thing about having Invisalign as opposed to having braces is that, like, over the course of the day, if you don't wear your trays, you can see your teeth shifting. Obviously, you don't see them moving in your mouth, but like from the beginning of the day to the end of the day, this tooth, for example, was my problem tooth. She would be up in there twisting, and turning, whatever. Like, she would be crooked by the end of the day. My dog's having breakfast. I wasn't able to wear my Invisalign for something like 3 weeks. And that had me tight. Because when I was able to go back to my orthodontist and get another scan, so now that puts us at least 2, the person in the office was like, you could have just cut the front so the front would stay straight. Why are you telling me this now? At some point in 2022, they had had me wear a rubber band on one of these teeth. I think it was, I don't remember. I had to wear rubber bands though to correct my overbite, because one side was aligned and the other side wasn't. So I'd had attachments, had the metal piece so that I could hook whatever is in, and I think my second Invisalign video, you can see that. So I also wasn't able to, not only was I not able to wear the trays, but I also wasn't able to thus wear rubber bands because the tooth that had gotten the crown had the metal piece attached to it. So I went back in the fall and my teeth were jacked. So now again, we're up to scan number 2. And at this point it might've been scan number, no, it was scan number 2 if we're talking about like refinements. There was the initial scan, but then one set of refinements, the second set of refinements. So at that point in the fall, they had projected that I would need another 2 months on top of what was expected. So let's say that this is October. I was supposed to be done in 4 months to get to February. Now they were telling me April, 6 months. So annoying. But you know, I was happy to be back in trays and get back to where I was, because if you look at, you see my video, but if you look at my videos from like July 2022, my teeth were straight. Like they looked how they look now in my untrained opinion. I do think that there's a little bit of a difference, but definitely like you could see that my teeth were on the right track. And then over the course of me having to get additional dental work, they weren't in place anymore. So by the time that we got to April, I was fed up. To be honest with you, I was like, yo, anything is better than where I started from. At that point, I was done with the other dental work that I needed, of like the wisdom teeth being out, all the fillings being replaced, the root canals being done, all of that, right? So now it was what felt like to me just cosmetic, and that hadn't been, it was a huge part, right? Like my teeth were my biggest insecurity in my like teens and early 20s. But like I said, it was better than where I was starting from. So like, whatever, fuck it, get out my mouth. And so at that point I was kind of like, yo, I'm done. I didn't realize that being an adult orthodontic patient, you do have some say over the situation. I did have, you know, providers say to me, like, if you want to be done, just tell us, let me know if you want to get this optional procedure, whatever, right? So by the time that we got to April 2023, I was pissed. I was like, I have, as y'all know, I've mentioned it, I have had other health stuff going on. This is just like optional pain at this point, is what it felt like. And so my orthodontist, I'm glad that she had done this. My dog never drinks water, and she's doing it now. My orthodontist had said, yeah, we can be done, but it's not perfect. And there might come a time where you wish you just kind of pushed through and had it be perfect. But that wasn't her exact verbiage. Her verbiage was closer to just saying like, as a dentist, I'm a perfectionist. And essentially I kind of get where she's coming from, where it's also like, this is an advertisement, right? And so for me to say like, yeah, I went to such and such orthodontist and my teeth are crooked, doesn't look good for them, right? So she had essentially said, let's compromise. We'll take all of the attachments out. So no more rubber bands. I had attachments. I think I had something like 11 attachments or something like that. We'll take all the attachments out. You can just keep going with the aligners, no more rubber bands, whatever. So at that point, we're at what would be refinement number 3 or scan number 3, 4, depending on how you're counting. And I was like, okay, you're right. She said, can you do 8 more trays? Fine. The gag was, they didn't tell me this till I came to pick them up. The gag was that since I didn't have the attachments anymore, the trays were gonna be 2 weeks instead of every week. Up until that point, I had been changing the trays every single week. So I was having like very rapid progress so long as I was able to stay in the trays. So now it's every 2 weeks. And when I had went in April, the reason why I had hit the roof and had a breaking point is because they had said like, yeah, you're gonna have like 16 more trays, like 4 more months. I said, girl, fuck that. Take all this out right now, I'm done. But they ended up getting what they wanted because it's like, yeah, you only have 8 trays for 2 weeks each, which is still 16 weeks. It's fine though. So I'd been going through my trays, and then that last appointment, when they told me I had to schedule my last appointment, I said, I want to come in the day that I am done with my last tray. So this is my final box of Invisalign they had given me back in April. And it said that I had aligners 1 through 10 of 20. And there are 20 trays in here, but if you notice, there's a fancy sticker on it that says retainer. So they had actually given me my retainers back in April and said, once you get through all these trays, you're in the retainers. So now we get to today, which is August 11th that I'm recording this. Hopefully I put it up soon. Sorry if I don't. But I've had Invisalign for almost exactly 2 years, and I had braces as a kid, and I've had Invisalign now. And like I said, there have been times where when they tell you like the projected date, don't take it seriously, right? Because you can't predict how your teeth are going to move. If, like in my case, you have unexpected dental work that you need to be done, there will be setbacks, right? So even though I have the retainers, I still was like, I'm gonna see. So when I went today, they said, yeah, you're all done. I had gotten my teeth filed down a little bit, these 2 teeth today, because they were a little bit pointier than I liked. And back in April, when I got all the attachments taken off, I had gotten this tooth. I think maybe this one too, but this tooth had almost like, it looked like a little chip in it or something. And so they had smoothed that out. So I will say the 2 week thing with the trays wasn't so bad, because like say I wanted to take pictures or I was going out or something, I could take the trays out and my teeth looked normal. Invisalign is not invisible. You can see when somebody has a mouthful of attachments, or in my case, I had a metal bracket, like whatever. And so I didn't really mind as much, because I was able to see like, oh, this is what my teeth not only are going to look like, but this is how they look now. So I am done. As far as retention goes, I, like I said, have got like 11 retainers that they gave me, and it's essentially just my regular trays with no movement. And they said keep them as long as possible. But yeah, I had done thorough research, so there's not much that I wish I knew. I've been watching videos where people are like, I didn't know it was gonna hurt. Your body is moving. Something that's not supposed to move is moving. Sorry. I mean, overall, my oral hygiene has improved a lot. Not that it was ever funky, because like I said, I have horrible teeth. And so, you know, I've always like kept up with it, but like having to floss and like just being aware when stuff is in my teeth. Like I rinse out my teeth every time I eat now, even if it's just with water, just because I can't deal with that. I think this is not advice that you should, it's not advice, period. Don't be like me. I'm just saying that I wore my trays for maybe half the time that they recommended. So definitely like 10 hours overnight, and then like maybe when I got home from work for a couple hours. So they say like 22 hours a day. I was at least wearing them for 8. Once I got these like April the trays since from April. I've been working from home, so it's really not as much of a hassle to like brush my teeth and put the trays back in and stuff like that. But at no point was I ever wearing them for 22 hours a day. You shouldn't do that. That's not good. Don't play around. And when I would go, they were like, yeah, we can tell you're doing a great job. Again, that's not advice. It's just my experience. But overall, I can't believe that I'm done. I've been so scarred by orthodontist. The fact that like I'm actually done and almost in the timeline that they said, like the last 6 months have not been challenging, the additional 6 months. But like I said, February 2023 was never a real number. But the 6 months past that has not been, difficult or anything like that. Funny story. So the beginning of last month in July, I was going up to Massachusetts to see one of my friends. And I realized as I was driving up there, so I live in Newark. So I'm like almost at the New York border. And I realized I forgot my Invisalign. And so I had to drive back down like 40 minutes and then drive back up. And I ended up adding at least like an hour and a half onto my trip or something like that because I was not fucking playing. Like I was not about to go out of state for 3-4 days without my trays, being so close to the end. Like I only had like one tray left after that one or something like that. Nah. So I will say I was also diligent. I don't think that there was a single night that I just chose or that I chose not to wear my tray. I made sure every night before bed, I'm putting it in at least. If the least I could do is while I was sleeping, I would do that. I was not playing around. And I'm not gonna play around with the retainers like I did when I was a child. Should nothing absolutely insane happen with knowing my luck, there's nothing wooden around me, but just my luck, maybe. But should nothing ridiculous happen, this should be my last Invisalign video. So if you're thinking about doing it, 100% recommend. Consider your financing options because it is not cheap. So just be aware of that. So just all in all, it is very expensive. For me, it's been invaluable for my confidence. And just overall, like with my health, like I said, my teeth were hurting. They were in pain and I wanted to get rid of that pain and were like falling apart. When I got my teeth cleaned in May, they said I didn't have anything that I needed to get done and I was shocked. That's my cue. I've been rambling. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being on this journey with me. And I'll see you in my next video.